Morning, everyone. So we're continuing the halachot of Brit Milah. So let's say a Brit Milah falls out on a fast day. So the Brit should be done in the morning, because we said yesterday that it should be Rizin Maktimin. We should do it early. It should still be done in the morning. And the Seudah should be done Motzei, the fast, when the fast is over. As opposed to doing the Brit Milah close to when the fast is over, during the daytime, and then doing the Seudah afterwards. You could technically do that, but ideally it's do the Brit in the morning, Seudah afterwards. And if you can't... So yes, and the truth is, we're about to say that if, let's say, it's too difficult, let's say it's Shiva Saber Tammuz, or Tisha B'Av, where the fast ends late, 9:30, it's going to end late. So you could do the Seudah the next day. You could do the Seudah the next morning, breakfast. So, and it's Seudat Mitzvah, Seudat Brit Milah. Now, let's say a father sees that his child is being born around sunset time, around Shkia. So you have to make note. One of my children was like this. I really had to make note. I told the ladies there in the hospital, whatever, make sure, let me know the exact minute the baby's born. Because it was around sunset, you have to know when the Brit is, what day it falls out on, etc. And Baruch Hashem, we were in the clear whenever he was born. It was Yosef. It was fine. But there's questions if it's exactly, so what day, where do you count 8 days? Now the worst thing is you don't want to count in the wrong and be early one day, right? And that's why that whenever there's a safek, you go lechumra. As a safek deoraita, you go stringent, and you push to, if you're not sure with it, you always go to the next day, that it's either 8 or 9, not either 7 or 8, because if it's 7, then you're too early. You don't push off a Brit even if the father, Lo Alin, was sitting Shiva, and now he had a kid during Shiva. You still don't push off or the Brit Milah schedule during a Shiva. You don't push off a Brit. It's always the 8th day, provided the baby's healthy. And even if, it's an interesting halacha, even if you want someone to be the sandak, let's say you want your father to be a sandak, but he's sitting Shiva at the time of the Brit, he lost a brother, whatever, he's sitting Shiva, he could sit as a sandak, even though he himself is sitting Shiva. It's important to choose a good sandak and also a good mohel, Yirei Shamayim, as they have an effect on the baby. I'm gonna talk about something that's very important, and hopefully this recording will go beyond just the people here. So people often call me for a mohel, which mohel to use. And I give them advices as far as that. And sometimes people call me and say, Rabbi, what's the best doctor mohel that we should use? So there are doctor mohels that are kosher, and they're great. Doctor mohels are kosher. But people these days, they make it sound like a doctor mohel, that's ideal. Regular mohel, no, I want a doctor mohel. That's more ideal. So I'm going to say it straight. In Brit Milah circumcision, a mohel is better than a doctor, and not just because he's a mohel, he's a rabbi, or the mohelim have been trained, and mohelim, yes, are better than doctors in general, even a kosher doctor, which is good. I'm not saying it's not good, but a mohel is better as far as the cut and what's called the TLC, the tender love and care after a Brit. You have to come and check the baby, this and that. So doctors are very, very busy, whatever, and the doctors are better. And this is what we've been using for thousands of years. Sorry, the mohalim are better. The mohalim are better. We've been using mohalim for thousands of years, and now all of a sudden people are more, I want a doctor mohel, right? So, okay, if that's what they want, but okay, there are kosher ones and seder, but let's go the original, and that's the best, So I want to say two stories. One is when I had my son Yosef, we went a checkup after the Brit Milah in the regular hospital in Los Angeles, and he was born there. And I remember that the lady, and this is her job. She checks babies after circumcision all the time. This is in a hospital. This is what she does. And she says, "You must have used the mohel, right?" I say, "Yes." And she says, "I want to tell you something. I've never found a mistake with a mohel. All the time the mistakes were from doctor circumcisions." Second thing, even more. My friend, Rabbi Meir Salta, he's a good friend of mine, lives in Los Angeles as well. He's a mohel. And he gets a call one day to do a fix-up of after circumcision. There was a mistake. And this person called and said, look, I'm actually an agent for a very famous person, and we want you to come and fix, we heard about you, and we want you to come and fix the circumcision of this person's baby, but you have to make sure you can't take pictures, you have to come to this location, you have to this, that. It was before he was basically an anti-Semite, but it was Kanye West and his wife Kim Kardashian. It might not mean anything to you, but these are famous people out there, where they had a kid and they did a circumcision, and it needed to be fixed. It was something was wrong that the doctor did, and they called my friend who's a Mohel rabbi to come and fix it. And he said, anyways, it was just a crazy thing that the house and just the security to get in and this and that, and he had to go back for checkups. He eventually developed a little relationship. He took a picture for his wife with it's on his website now, whatever it is. But I'm just saying that the Mohalim, they know what they're doing. And I just want to end, especially there is a certain doctor, I don't need to mention him by name, unless someone's having a kid soon, we could speak about it, but there is a certain doctor in the city that's not kosher for Brit Milahs. And because he uses a clamp, it's a special method of doing the removing of the orla, not in a cutting method, rather in they squeeze the piece really hard, and then the piece kind of peels off, and there's no blood, and people like it because there's no blood, but it's not a kosher way, and in Orthodox synagogues they don't allow this doctor. Unfortunately, this doctor did creep into majority of the conservative and reform Jews here in Toronto. Everyone knows, doctor so, I'm using doctors. So how many times that I had to try convincing people not to use and say that I'm not going, and there's been a few people that I've not gone to because they use the person. So just to make you aware, for your children, your grandchildren, or friends and family that you know, that go Mohel all the way, the way it was. And,
I've seen you a few times in Brit Milah. Do you remember the doctor that came with all the pipes and all the...
Yeah, okay. He was a kosher doctor. Yeah, he's a nice man. He's a kosher doctor. Say there, right? Say just to end off. Go Mohel, go the original way. And if you want to ask me and many others who the best circumciser is, there's two Mohalim that are the best. I think in the city, one even more than the other, and they're not doctors. If you need a kosher doctor, okay, there's kosher doctors. Say there's kosher doctors, and then of course stay far away from the non-kosher doctor, 100%. Okay, just wanted to say that, and I don't get that opportunity to talk about that in a public way. We're talking about the laws of Brit Milah, so it took a little bit more time to discuss that point. Okay, Mincha tonight, 7:05. The Orach Chaim Shiur, because it's late after Arvit and then the Parasha Shiur, so we're going to start doing it before Mincha. If you want to join, it's going to be at 6:45. So 6:45 tonight, Orach Chaim Shiur, 7:05 Mincha, 8:30 Parasha Shiur. We're back on Bezrat Hashem, 8:30 Parasha Shiur. Tanan Develiel.